Hello! Welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking all about enrichment and the huge difference it can make for us. If you have a puppy that's doing the zoomies while you're trying to relax in the evenings, or they're destroying the house, digging up the garden, stealing your socks, or creating mischief as puppies do, then this video is going to really help you. We've already been playing some enrichment games with our pups this week, but hopefully this video will help to give you some new ideas too. So today we're going to be talking all about enrichment, what we can do, why we're going to be doing it, and what it actually means to our puppies, as well as what we can hope to achieve from it. Enrichment is where we're going to be providing our puppies with a selection of different additional activities for them to do. We're going to be adding a variety of different activities that our puppies can engage with and enjoy throughout the day. The idea is that we're going to give them things that will mentally challenge them and give them an outlet for a lot of their natural behaviours, because dogs are dogs and they're going to want to do dog things. Dogs are prone to doing things like chewing, dissecting things, running around with things in their mouths and digging up things because it feels good. These are natural behaviours they're going to do because they're enjoyable. Dogs love exploring, working out new things and learning about the world around them. So if we don't give our puppies an outlet for that behaviour, what's going to happen is they're going to find their own entertainment. And this may be in ways we'd rather they didn't, like digging up our gardens, ripping up our shoes or shredding the sofa cushions. In this video, we're going to go through loads of things you can do to help give your puppies something to do, to challenge their minds and provide nice, appropriate outlets for them, so they won't do things that are not so desirable for us. Enrichment is something we want to do with our dogs, no matter what age they are. There's always something we can do, because our world is a bit boring compared to what our dogs would naturally be doing. If our dogs were living in the wild, they'd be spending a lot of time hunting, catching prey, dissecting things, eating and chewing. When we think about the daily lives of most dogs, there's not a lot going on to challenge their minds. They get up, eat their food from a bowl, have a walk, maybe have a little play, then have another meal from a bowl, then go to sleep, and then it's a repeat of the same thing day in, day out. What we're going to do is add things in, and it doesn't need to be expensive. There are loads of things on the market and toys that are designed for dogs to give them enriching activities, but we can also make things. So I'm going to go through some of these, and I'll also post you a link to a couple of blogs I've written about some of the toys that are on the market, as well as some really easy things we can make and do with our puppies for free, so you won't actually have to go and buy anything. We'll cover a few of them in this video for you too. We want to give our puppies outlets for their natural behaviours and prevent them from getting bored, finding their own things to do and becoming a bit mischievous. We're going to satisfy their needs on a deeper level. If you have a puppy that loves sniffing, as all dogs do, then what you could do is give them an outlet for that. Take some of their food and scatter it in the grass and let them search for it. Or you could use a snuffle mat. 10 minutes of sniffing is the equivalent to taking a dog for an hour-long walk in terms of the amount that they're processing and taking in. So it's a really, really nice way to help tire your puppy out, so they'll be able to settle and sleep a lot more. If your puppy's prone to getting the zoomies in the evening, what I want you to do is allow them to sniff when they're having their evening meal. So you could scatter their food around and allow them to sniff for it. You could buy a snuffle mat if you prefer, or make one if you're really creative. searching for and finding their food in this way is going to really help to calm our puppies down and use up a lot of that excess energy, so you'll have quieter, calmer evenings as a result. If your puppy loves digging, we're going to give them an outlet for that too. One of the things I love to recommend if you have a digger is to create a digging pit for your puppy, somewhere they're allowed to dig. So you could get a little sand pit. Just be sure to cover it up when you're not using it, so any local cats don't decide to use it as a litter tray. And bury things in there for your puppy to dig up. You could bury some toilet roll tubes with some treats in, so they get to dig there and find buried treasure. This is going to make it fun because it's a natural outlet for their digging, but it's also going to make it more fun than digging up your flowers because they're going to find exciting things. So there'll be extra benefits to digging there rather than anywhere else. Other things we can do include looking at giving our pups things they can carry around. A lot of you who have gun dogs will notice a lot of the time they'll have an object in their mouth and they'll be parading around with it and showing it off. They don't really want to give it to you, they just want to show it to you. And this is something we've bred into them for generations. They love holding on to things and bringing them to show you. What we don't want to do is just take these objects off them to play fetch, because a lot of the time these puppies love holding on to something, and taking the object away and throwing it for them to retrieve isn't the goal that they actually have in mind, and it can lead to problems where your puppy doesn't want to give you back the object because you're just going to throw it away again and they really want to keep hold of it. So playing little games where your puppy has a toy in their mouth and you're praising them for it is super awesome for enrichment. A lot of the time we'll see behaviours in our puppies that are natural. You can really see the breed tendencies because we've bred those into them. So if you have a collie pup and they're starting to stalk your children around the garden, that's not really something we want to allow them to do. But what you can do is allow them to practice similar behaviours where they get to move and chase and direct a treat ball which rolls around and deposits treats as it moves. This will give them an outlet for some of their natural herding tendencies where they're getting to control that movement and being reinforced for doing it as the food comes out. It's really important to look at the things our dogs are designed for and to give them things that are really going to satisfy them on that deep level. There are so many things that we can choose. So let's talk through some of the types of food enrichment. There are other types too, which I'll get to in a moment for you as well. A lot of the time when it comes to thinking of things like enrichment, it's tempting to only think about the things we can do with food. But there are so many more activities out there that we want to be engaging in to give our puppies a really well-rounded enrichment programme. So when it comes to enrichment with food, there are different types of bowls we can get for feeding our puppies, like the slow feeders that have little patterns in them, and maze feeders where if they're fed dry food, they have to lick the biscuits around the feeder until it comes out of one of the exits before they can eat it. These are great to give them a little mental workout while they're having their meal. Other things that we can do with food include licky mats. You can get ones that are completely flat, often square shape. You can get some that sucker onto things and ones that are bowl shaped. They all have different patterns and bobbles on their surface that you can smear any sort of soft treat onto and let your puppy lick it off, which we know is a really calming activity for them. We can also get our puppies sniffing. Plastic flower pots or plastic cups are great for this. You can pop a few treats under them to see if your puppy can find them. While they're sniffing, if they get to one you've hidden food under, you'll see the intensity go up. So So they might start nudging it with their nose or paw, and they can lift it up and let them have their goodies. It's also a great introduction to doing a little bit of scent work with them, which I'm sure they'll enjoy. Something else you might find is the Kong wobbler, which is a different type of toy that you can put dry food or treats in. They're weighted so they return to upright as your pup moves it around with their nose or bats it with their paw. And there's a little hole for the food to come out of as your puppy does that. This is really fun for them because they have to wobble it over to get the food out and can enjoy pouncing on it and batting it around. So these are great for giving our puppies a mental outlet, but also a bit of a physical one too, in a nice and controlled way. And you don't have to buy a Kong wobbler or treat ball either if you don't want to. You can create a similar thing using an old plastic bottle. So what you can do is make some holes in the bottle. To start with, you can cut out more holes and make it nice and easy for your puppy. And you could take the lid off for them too. Then just pop some of their biscuits or treats in there and allow them to roll it around to get the food out. As your puppy gets really good at getting the food out, you can make it harder for them by cutting less holes. And when they get really good, you could even leave the lid on so they'll be rolling it around for longer, which is going to give them a really good mental workout. Shadow absolutely loves a plastic bottle. I think this is actually one of her favourite activities, and she's really got the knack of getting the lids off them too. But you will need to supervise your puppy if you start leaving the lids on, just to make sure that we keep them safe. One of Shadow's other favourite enrichment activities is the Kong Classic. Now, I highly recommend these. They're absolutely brilliant for teething puppies because you can pop them in the freezer too, so they're nice and cool, and great for giving your puppy whilst you practice those little separations that we talked about in our last video. You can get Kongs in a variety of different sizes. The little puppy ones are pink or blue and are slightly softer. The ones for when our pups have their adult teeth are red. You can also get black ones, which are really tough and pretty much indestructible. If there's one thing you should buy your puppy, it's the Kong Classic. You can fill them with so many different things. You can stuff them with wet food. You can pop in dry dog biscuits. And as your puppy gets good at getting the food out, you can moisten the biscuits to make it harder for them. And you can even freeze them, which will keep your pup busy for ages. So I feed Shadow all of her meals from Kongs. She used to absolutely inhale her food from a bowl in about 2 minutes, but with her meal divided into 3 Kongs, it takes her about 20. Just think what you could do in that time while your pup's busy. Other types of food enrichment include the puzzle toys, where your puppy has to manipulate sections with their nose or paw to get the treats underneath. Now, there are loads of these with different difficulty levels to help get your puppy problem solving. One of the things you can do is make your own puzzle feeder by using a muffin tin. You can pop a few treats in some of the trays and then cover them up with tennis balls for your pup to manipulate by lifting them out or nudging them off. As they get good, you could fill up more of the holes or fill up less of the holes but cover them all up. It's a really nice and easy homemade version. You can also get creative. So we've got plastic bottles, which will be great for this, and the inner tubes from toilet rolls are also really good. We can do loads of things with these. One of the things you can do is pinch one of the ends closed and then pop some little treats in. To start with, this might be enough for your puppy, but once they get the idea, you could pinch together the other end too and let them figure out how to get their treats. You could even make several of these little parcels and pop them in a little box or something for your puppy to rummage through. Pretty much anything you find in your recycling, like plastic bottles, toilet roll tubes, cardboard packaging, can all be really useful for creating fun little enrichment games for free. If you have a puppy that loves shredding their toys and ripping things apart, Shadow's one of those, you can create great games with your recycling that won't cost you a fortune, and you'll be happy to let your pup tear it all up. If, like Shadow, your puppy enjoys pulling the stuffing out of toys too, what you can do is just keep restuffing them so you don't have to keep buying lots of new toys. Another great thing you can do is get a cardboard box and create something called a noise box. Now, it doesn't matter what size box you use, but you're going to fill it with all different sorts of things like cardboard tubes, plastic bottles, scrunched up paper, anything safe that you find in your recycling. Pop those in the box with some of your dog's treats, and your puppy is going to have a great time snuffling around and finding them all. Now, as they put their head in, it's going to be noisy as well, but they'll be having such a great time that it will really help to build up their confidence. Another idea you can try is to get an old tea towel and pop some food on that, then start rolling it up for your puppy. So they have to unravel it with their nose to get the treats. Shadow actually worked out it was easier just to pick up the tea towel and shake it so all of the treats fell out, but it's great to see them using their brains to problem solve. If you wanted something a bit bigger and heavier to try it with, you could use one of their blankets. So I call this one the blanket game. With any homemade enrichment games, it's really important that we supervise our puppies. We don't want them eating anything they shouldn't while you're doing this, so always supervise them and make sure you only use things that are safe. Now, we've gone through loads of different food enrichment activities, but there is so much more we can do with enrichment that doesn't have to involve food. One of these is involving social elements. In our puppy socialisation video, we talked about taking your puppy to lots of different places to sit and watch the world go by. This is a great form of social enrichment. Our puppies will be taking the things in that are going on, watching different people, other animals, and that's a really, really enriching experience. So just taking your puppy out to different places is great. Also try to vary the locations of your walks as much as you can within the current guidelines. So our pups are getting to explore different places. It's a major boost to enable our puppies to have novel experiences and really fun too. Another great thing you can do is on your daily walks, let your puppy decide where they would like to go if it's safe. Follow them, let them sniff and be led by them. Let them explore where they want to go. It's really fun and so rewarding. You might find you don't go as far as you usually would, but when you get home, your puppy will be really tired because they've done so much sniffing and had all of that information to process. So this also falls into the category of sensory enrichment. Sensory enrichment is where your puppy's going to get to explore with all of their senses, including different smells. Our dog's sense of smell is incredible, so let them sniff and have a great time processing all of the scents around them. If you have other animals like rabbits, guinea pigs, chickens or horses, you can take some of their bedding and put it in a little container for your puppy to explore. This is fantastic because there's so much information there for your puppy to take in and process. It's really, really deeply satisfying. We can also try different tastes. Just giving our dog the same food every day can get really boring. So give your pup a chance to try different tastes, different veggies and fruits. Obviously avoid anything that's toxic for dogs, and if you're at all unsure if something's safe or not, then avoid it or check it out to make sure we're not giving anything harmful to our pups. It might take a few tries before your puppy decides if they like it or not, but it's great to give them those new, novel experiences to really help them develop an interest in trying new things. We also talked about sounds in our puppy socialisation video, introducing them to novel sounds and playing these while they're doing something fun. Different textures can also give our pups enriching experiences, getting the feel of different things, getting our puppies to explore different surfaces, putting their paws on them and taking in all that information. There are loads of things we can do with the senses that don't involve food, but are still really enriching for our pups. Other aspects include physical enrichment, like allowing our puppies to have an outlet for their digging. We can also get them climbing and navigating around low-level objects. In our confidence course, we had puppies exploring objects from around the house and garden. That's a brilliant form of enrichment, and we can even go one step further by setting up little tunnels that they get to go into and through to explore. Another great form of enrichment is play with toys. There are so many different types of toys out there. Finding what your puppy loves is a really fun exercise. Games could include tug. Gentle games of tug help to teach our puppies all about interactions and are great for building up play with toys rather than on you or your clothing. It also helps to boost their confidence because we're going to be quite gentle and allowing our puppy to pull, not making it too hard. And we're going to let them win as well, remember. It's totally fine to let your puppy win. Games of chase are great too, and flirt poles are brilliant, especially if you have a sight hound who loves to pounce on things. If you've got a dog that loves holding on to things, then let them parade around with toys in their mouth too. We're going to help them build up that confidence on how to engage with you, and having the ability to play a game that your puppy loves is going to really help provide a great motivator when it comes to training with them too. If we have a game that they love playing, we can use that as a great reward. There really are so many things we can do daily to enrich our puppies' lives. We can have the best time with our dogs, and the benefits of enrichment are huge because we know that when we provide enrichment, we end up with far less unwanted, problematic behaviours. By giving our puppies things to do so they can express their natural behaviours in a way that's acceptable to us, we're going to be helping them feel fulfilled, much more rested and relaxed. And we're going to be able to have a really nice time with our puppies, doing less of the stuff we'd rather they didn't. There really is so much fun to be had with enrichment.